Resume recording. Oh my gosh.
Hello, everyone.
So exciting.
Wow.
So exciting.
Hi.
Hello.
My voice just went up like 3 octaves. I don't know what happened. Let's make this a musical theater number today. Richard, you start off. Can you sing? Are you a cheater?
Wait, gotta unmute you, Richard.
Oh no.
Or if you're singing, should we keep you on mute?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not warmed up at
Who
all.
sings? Yeah, I want to know by hands who sings. Literally, anyone on here who sings? Yeah.
That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Look at everybody. All right, who else? Oh, like Tamika
Liza
sings?
can
Okay, good.
sing.
Hi, Tamika.
Liza can sing.
Liza can sing.
Oh, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Liza can sing.
Amber
You know
can
what, Deja?
sing.
You're so right. Liza can't just sing; she can sing.
Sing.
You're right.
I cried every time she sang at her Christmas show. It's a real thing. Hi, everybody. There's so many people joining us. But just tell us in the chat where you are, where everybody is, so we can see where people are.
We won't stalk you, and if you don't, we won't stalk you. It's okay, really. We'll just look up your name, your last
We
name.
don't need your address, just the city.
Yeah.
You are Kentucky.
Kentucky.
There's someone from Charlottesville. Awesome.
Ooh,
Los Angeles, yes. Seaville, Savannah, Asheville, Boston.
Boston.
So
Wait,
many
we should put ours. We should put ours in too, guys.
Come on, Fairfax. I went to school in the DMV.
Well, welcome everybody. I'm going to get started because we always have like pages of stuff that we want to talk about, give everybody an opportunity to talk, and we give ourselves an hour and 10 minutes. So, we can do it, right? I'm going to start. Well, first, we hope you had a fantastic summer, whether it was rest or adventure or house cleaning, whatever it was. We hope it was amazing. Tonight, we're here to talk about how AWS is helping the artistic community adapt to new normals of the screen artist industry. With that, we have a few things to talk about with upcoming classes and a summit that we're offering. Not to give it away too soon, but Eric and I did talk about it live on Instagram, so maybe you've seen. But before we do any of that, I just want to introduce some folks. A lot of you we see inside the membership, we see at Roundtable, so you know us, and that's great. But for those of you who don't, first, I would like to introduce you to Erica Arvold. If you don't know her, she is one of the founders of Arvold Warner Studio, casting director, artist, multi-hyphenate. Erica, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I like this new term. I wonder what you all think of it. Multi-hyphenate casting director. Because while casting is kind of my day job, I am doing so many other things that have to do with art, including painting, including directing, including writing. But I'm like, I wonder if there's a term multi-hyphenate casting director. Does that make it seem like I'm just casting lots of different genres? Or does it make it seem like I am a multi-hyphenate artist that like has lots of side gigs?
It feels primary, like casting director might be primary for you. So what do you think?
Yeah, well, that's how AWS exists. I cast so we can do this, so I can support it.
Well, and you do have to add in Emmy-nominated multi
Yes!
casting director.
I was about to say that's the title we need.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah, let's say that.
Emmy-nominated
I'm
multi.
having a ball. Oh my gosh, I'm having so much fun out here. It's just great. Look at can you see the view? It's insane. Look at that.
So wait, you're still there? You haven't left yet?
No, I'm here until the 15th. I've got the Emmys on the 12th. I've got gifting suites. You actors probably know about this. This is all new. Like, I'm like, what is a gifting suite? And then there's a publicist, and then there are this. I have to have gowns. I have to have this. It's like, I've got a BAFTA party. Anyway, it's a ball. I am on the train, and it's to make me a better casting director because boy, oh boy, do I feel for people who have to put on makeup like, I am not a makeup person. I am not a even really get dressed person. I am a pajama mama. And it is a wild existence to have to be so aware of one's physical presence. I am learning a lot, and I have a lot of respect for people who have to do this every single day. Truly.
I had a chance to go to an Emmy gifting suite, and oh boy.
Yeah. Well,
Not
can
a-
we talk after this so you can tell me?
Yes.
Like, literally, my publicist is like, "What do you wear?" Oh, shoot! Sorry. Why is one of my series regulars is calling me? This is crazy. All right, I'm not going to answer. Sorry. I've
Okay.
got to turn off. Okay. So sorry, you guys, really real life. But Deja, can we talk after this? You can tell me, because like everyone's like freaking out about what I'm going to wear, and I'm like, it's a gifting suite, but I guess there's like people that take pictures there.
Yes, we will talk.
Okay, thanks. Well,
So next,
I'll share. I've been sharing my whole journey on Instagram. If people want to go on Instagram, it's all on Arvold Official. And Ellie's there talking to us about this summit too. See, bringing it back for you, Ellie.
bring it back. Thank you so much. Really exciting. Keep sharing with us, Erica. I love watching them. Next up, I want to introduce the other co-founder of Arvold Warner Studio. Richard Warner is here with us. Hi, Richard. Do you want to say anything? I know Erica was trying to get you to sing.
Let me unmute. Welcome all of you. Thanks for joining us. And I love this topic of new normal. And I'll connect that with Erica's idea of hyphenate. What I've noticed about all of you is that you know that you need to diversify. As I get older in this trade, I see so many actors branching out and doing other things like writing and directing and producing their own work. And that just goes right into how we self-tape, doesn't it? So I love the idea that we're connecting that, and I'm hoping we can really have a good chat about this new normal and what that has to do with our membership.
Awesome. Thank you, Richard. And then Priya, our Director of Education and Marketing, who you get lots of emails from and we'll talk to on a regular basis if you have questions. Priya, do you want to say anything?
They're nice emails, I promise.
She will answer all your questions. And then Liza Jane, who is part of our operations team and a teaching artist. She's teaching several of our classes coming up this fall. Erin Dengler, teaching artist, who's teaching multiple classes coming up. Deja D, who is a teaching artist teaching multiple classes. And then Corbin Perrier, who is an ambassador inside our membership, who knows all things membership. Am I forgetting anyone? Do we have Leah here? We have other ambassadors. I just want to make sure they didn't pop up. Oh, I'm Ellie, and I am artistic director of Arvold Warner Studio. I've been working with everybody on the team. I think, is it a year? Is it 2 years? It's some amount of time. And Evan Bergman's not here with us, but he is artistic director too. He was unable to make it tonight. And then we have lots of other teaching artists. I'm just going to say their name because they could pop up here any given moment. We have Sekou Laidlow, Katie Wilson, Kevin Alsu, Justin Rossbacher. Am I missing anybody? No? Awesome. Okay, so we are here to talk about new normals. And I think part of that conversation, a huge part of that conversation, is the summit we have coming up. We have a summit coming up next weekend. We love summits at AWS. The first one that Erica and Richard did was with the very first, I think, 2 teaching artists that joined the AWS team, Lauren Buyoli and Evan Bergman. And then last year we did the summit with our entire teaching team. It was massive. It was for members only, so you had to be a member of Arvold Warner Studio to join. This mini summit that we're offering this coming weekend, we are making available to the public for $45. It's free for members. So we'll get into, if you join the membership, it's the same price to join the membership as it is to be a part of the summit. So you might want to get inside the membership and see what's going on in there if you're going to be a part of the upcoming summit. But the reason I bring up the summit first is because we have some teachers here who have to go, have projects coming up, have teaching to do, and I want them to have the opportunity to talk about the classes. So the summit is just what it sounds like. It's like multiple classes Saturday and Sunday. The 10th and 11th, are my dates correct? The 10th and 11th, Saturday and Sunday. We'll have 4 classes over those 2 days. They're 90 minutes. They're classes that we offer during the fall, so the summit's an opportunity to give everybody a taste of what we're teaching and how that is serving the new normals in the screen artist industry. So before we get into that dialogue, I'm just going to have Erin Dangler talk about your offering in the summit. You're going to be working on Sunday with Uta Hogg
Yes.
and the 9 questions, yes, which
Yeah.
is one of your many classes.
So yes, I teach Uta Hogg and the 9 questions, and what we had a great first round of that class this past winter. It was really amazing. What Uta says is to bring yourself to the role. Start with yourself. And so that's what we start with. Uta started with 9 questions. She's very practical, and we focus on the 9 questions, the 3-part written format as a way to approach your auditions, and the object exercises as a way to explore space and character and transferring space from, possibly a place where you rehearse to a virtual room or a live room. And what was really interesting about it was that class had newer actors and veteran actors in it, and both said that they learned so much. The one that had the most experience said, I wasn't sure about taking this class because I didn't know what I could learn that was new. And she said she was totally surprised with how much new technique she could bring to her work. And it was really cool. We watched it unfold in real time when their work got deeper and more specific. So I'm a big Uta Hagen fan.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. And so you'll be sharing a little bit of what, obviously you're not going through all 9 questions at the summit, but you'll be giving a taste of some of what will be offered in the fall, correct?
Exactly. Yes.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Erin.
Sure. Sorry, did I talk too long?
No. And
Can I ask a question? I
Yes.
just want to ask a question, and I'm just, this summit's 2 days long,
yes,
and it's 2 classes or 3 classes per day?
2 classes. Well, there's
Thank you.
a lunch and learn with Priya on the Saturday.
Perfect. And Erin, when is Erin's class?
Erin's class is Sunday, 12 to 1:30.
Thank you.
Just to
and-
add to that, we
Yeah.
also do have the Screen Artist Lounge. So similar to Erica being at the Emmys, or if you guys have gone to a film festival, we have a virtual lounge that you can pop into at all different times of the day, ask questions, get to know our ambassadors, get to know some of our teachers, and come and hang out.
And Erin and Erica, I would love for you to have the opportunity. I know it's coming up really soon, but you're leading co-star to guest star. So I would love for you all to talk about that class a little bit too. It won't be offered at the summit, but I would love for you to talk about that fall offering because it's an awesome class.
I know it was hard to choose what classes to actually give a piece of at the summit
know.
because we don't have enough time. We could do a summit for 2 weeks. Yeah, co-star to guest star is really fun. I think it was, we just taught it for the first time.
Mhm.
We're crazy specific about the curriculum. We meet every week for hours discussing what we're about to teach. And not only is it about the transition from co-star roles into guest star roles, but it is applicable to leveling up at any stage of one's career, especially if you are a guest star and you're looking to book more regularly or even possibly a series regular, although Richard and I have a different class for that guest star series regular, but we don't have it on the books for this year. We dissect from many points of view what the difference is in why each of these co-stars and each of these guest star roles are absolutely important in their own right, and not one isn't better than the other, and how to essentially think about it from the inside out and the outside in. Erin,
I couldn't have said it better. That inside out, outside in. It's someone emailed me recently like, oh, well, we work and get feedback each time. And it's so much more than that. It's this really holistic approach. It's like a seminar. That's the best way that I can describe it.
It's like an interactive seminar. That's a good
Yeah.
idea, because we're crazy.
And it really
Yeah.
like the presence of of every participant is what makes it work. And it's, I don't know, it was just one of the most interesting curriculum developments I've been a part of. And it was just it was incredibly detailed. We have every minute planned.
We go through two different scripts, right? Two scripts we do. But anyway, we already have, like, it's already more than half full. And it's by application only. And we really review the applications carefully to create an ensemble of actors that can really push each other, teach each other, complement each other, etc. So it's a very intentional and conscious curriculum.
Yep. And it was loads of fun. And again, the growth, the growth. I love seeing the growth. It's amazing.
Yeah, the success stories are ridiculous. And I hate saying it because I know I wear a hat as a casting director, but like flipping people book, not with me, book afterwards. Yeah. They're just like, oh, hi. Oh my gosh, that was the secret. It's just confidence in knowing what it is from a million different perspectives. That's what it is. It's comfortableness. Amber, you have a question.
Oh, I think we're going to need to.
Are both you, Erica, and also Erin at all of the 4 classes that you offer for that?
It's 8 classes, and yes.
Oh, it's 8. Okay.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's intense. We kind of cry at the end. We don't want to ever stop it, really. That's kind of the kind of class it is,
And that class starts September 15th, and it is application only. So if you're interested in looking at that class, I strongly recommend you doing it as soon as possible to get that application in for them to review. Thank you all for sharing. Thank you, Erin.
Yeah, I mean, it's by application because we want people who have substantial co-star credits under their belt and maybe a few guest stars as well. Like, it's not for the beginning actor, just to be very clear.
Yeah.
And you all, if you have additional questions, please throw them in the chat. We will answer the questions as we go along. So please feel free to do that. We're here to answer questions. Thank you, Erin. I know you'll probably have to leave us soon, but thank you for jumping on and talking.
I do. Thanks for having me. So great to see so many faces. Hope to see you at the summit and in class. Mwah.
Thank you, Erin. So let's go ahead and wrap up talking about the summit class since we've already started. Liza Jane, you are starting the summit for us on Saturday morning at 10 a.m., 10 to 11:30 with Elevate Your Hustle. Will you talk to us about that class?
Yeah, so Elevate is your all-around business class, because at the end of the day, you can be the best actor, the strongest talent, the most beautiful person in the room, but if you don't have your actor's access profile like down and dirty, like ready to go and looking like a professional, then it's harder, right? And if you don't know how to build your own website, if you don't know how to have a social media presence, if you don't know how to build yourself a budget for all the expenses that go into being an actor, then you're relying on a lot of luck. You're relying on someone finding you somewhere. And so Elevate Your Hustle is all about establishing the foundation that you need so that all you have to do is be a good actor and is to work on your craft and work on your talent and be right for the role, right? So what we talk about is it's a 12-week class. And it's not just taught by me. I teach a lot of it, but I bring in experts, I bring in guests, I bring in professionals in the industry to offer you their perspective. Because the biggest thing about this industry that I've noticed since I did my first professional gig in 1987, anyway, is that the rules of the business change. And they change constantly. And that's what we're talking about with the new normal. The pandemic threw the rules into a complete tailspin, right? And we're developing new curriculum as we go. And so the point of something like this is to hear from experts about what it means to have COVID protocols. What do you need to bring with you? Where, it used to be, hey, you need to go out and talk to people, on set. Is that still okay to do? Or do you need to relegate yourself to your trailer? We will have camera operators come and talk to you about, hey, listen, when we tell you to hit your mark, here's why. When we tell you, hey, your frame is this is what that means. When you go on set, who do you want to talk to understand what's going on? When is it okay to ask a question? Everything, how to file your taxes, what those rules changed recently. All the things so that you can absorb and adapt. And that's one of the biggest things that we teach in Elevate is not necessarily here are all the rules and here's the best way. This is my cat that likes to be in all Zoom calls. Not necessarily here are the rules so that you can just learn them and memorize them and know them by rote, but how can you absorb and adapt to every situation? Because I'll tell you, every set is different. Every time you go on set, there's a slightly different environment. There's a different pecking order. There are different things that you need to know. And if you are locked into what you think is right and wrong and you're not able to adapt, then you're not going to succeed as much as you could. So Elevate Your Hustle is all about preparing you for what exists, for what could exist, for what has come before you so that you are prepared for how that's going to change. And then the flip side of Elevate is that we are going to teach you the mindset behind this industry and how to make it and how to survive in an industry that is a lot of no. We hear no a lot. And how do you survive and thrive as an artist in that environment and so that you can enjoy it when you're on set, right? How do you get all your ducks in a row so that when you book the job and you get a yes, that you can enjoy yourself and just be an artist? So yeah, so Elevate is one of my favorite. I will talk about that for a full hour. But yeah, Elevate. There's a ton of Elevate alum in here. I can't talk about the whole class because there's too much. There's 12 full weeks of education, and I talk this fast the whole time. So for all of my Elevate alum, throw in the chat something that you learned or something that you loved about Elevate, and that will be a better review than anything I'm going to tell you.
That's great.
Do you want to talk about anything else?
No, just one of the things I love about Elevate is the number of guest artists we bring into that class, because as we all know, this is a business of opinions. And so having points of view from everyone, whether it be other artists, whether it be an accountant, whether it be an intimacy coordinator, all these folks we've had involved with Elevate in the past, camera operators, mindset specialists, a lot of different opinions for you to cultivate for yourself or create for yourself what you want to be as an artist, and how you want to represent yourself in this industry as an artist. Because as we know, there's a lot of responsibility with social media and Actors Access and how we're putting ourselves out there on every platform. And Liza, I can back that up. She will talk that fast and give you that much information every single class to where you may not even know what you don't know until you're in there. Leah's here. Hi, Leah. So if you all have questions about Elevate, please throw them in the chat. You can go online. We will offer it at the summit for 90 minutes for you to get a taste of what's offered in that class. So the summit's a great opportunity to see what might be involved in that 12-week course. And people are throwing stuff in the chat about Elevate. I love it. So next up, I'm going to pass the mic to Deja D, who's going to be teaching small group actor coaching on Saturday. Deja, you and Sekou Laidlow teach small group actor coaching. This fall will be your third time teaching the class. What do you want to tell us about small group actor coaching? What do you do in that class? Oh, yes, ma'am. I got you. Here you go.
There we go. Okay, yes, that's right. This will be our third time around. And I'm really excited. Erin brought up the fact that in her class and in a lot of these classes, there is a range of creatives from those that are really seasoned to those that are just starting. And what I love about small group actor coaching is for those that have been in a bit, it's like, that there are artists here that are watching you. And so you're kind of on your P's and Q's and you kind of level up a little bit because folks are watching what you do and they're learning from you as well. But those that are just starting get an opportunity to see what it looks like to be a seasoned artist and, what their tapes look like. So I love that there's always this mix of creatives in one room. But with small group, it's 6 weeks. and I teach with Sekou, and we have a bit of a different energy. So it's fantastic that you get both of us, whereas I'm a bit more in the technical and physicality. Sekou is definitely more into character development. We both do the same thing, but differently. And this course is for those that are working, that are getting auditions, and you might need some coaching, but maybe it's just not in the budget to get one-on-one training every time you get an audition. And so we're helping you in real time in a small group where we'll have an opportunity to work with you individually for, a certain amount of time so that you can just really work out, the kinks and get it up on its feet. But it's an ongoing course as well. So it's not just a one and done, right? You get an opportunity to really work it out. And maybe you had to turn it in already, but you still want to see, was there something I missed? Can I work it out a little bit? Maybe I need to get ready for the callback. So we'll work that out. And it's an opportunity for you to bring in the work, not something that we have prepared that you're going to work on, because what I may prepare for you may not be something that you get because it doesn't fit your type. So you're bringing in the work that you're actually going to get. And for those that are newer and maybe not working as much, there's an opportunity for you to, work on things that you would like to be submitted for. And so we work with you the same way. And yeah, I think we have some alum in here too. You could throw some things in the chat about small group, but I just love having the opportunity to work with artists who are working and are like on go. Because I got to get it in now. Help me. And I'm like, all right, let's play, and yeah, that's what I love to do. That's what it is. We'll show you a little bit of how we work this weekend, and we start soon next week. I'm not sure. 2 weeks, in 2 weeks. Yes.
No, September 28th.
September 28th.
Okay. Yeah. So, Priya, you are doing a lunch and learn at the summit. So, will you talk to us a little bit about how the summit is going to work, what the lounge is going to look like, and the lunch and learn, and then we'll, answer any questions.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the summit weekends are typically like, you need a really good glass of wine and a hot tub at the end of it, because it is jam-packed with fun. It's jam-packed with community. It's jam-packed with craft. And I know we keep saying like these are kind of teasers of all of our classes, but one thing that's really important to note is that everyone who comes to the summit will walk away with something tangible that they can apply to their craft right away. We have gotten so many requests to audit our classes, and because of our really small ensemble sizes, we just don't allow that. It's going to be distracting to the students, it's distracting to the teachers. So we figured this kind of mini summit would be a really fun, explorative way to kick off fall, because we gotta dust off that summer laziness and get back into it. So the lounge is just, like I mentioned, a really fun place where you can meet other, screen artists. You can talk to our ambassadors, Leah and Corbin. Joe Red also might be there. They can answer any questions that you have about the summit, about membership, what our offerings are, about our Warner Studio, who our teachers are, who you can consult with, who might be a good option for you to coach with. So just really learning about everything the studio has to offer in a very fun-filled weekend.
Can I also add to that, Priya?
Yeah.
The last time that we did it, I have to say that there were moments where we got real deep. So it was an opportunity to have conversations. You know how you have class and then after class you linger and you just chit chat and you start talking about all kinds of things. That's kind of the feel and atmosphere that you have in the lounge, where you get to really chat and learn some things that you're just not going to talk about in class.
Yeah. I think it's also the connections. There was a point when you made everyone on the screen cry. I remember that. We all got teary-eyed. Yes, it was a beautiful moment. Erica would pop in and out, and then every time she would pop in, everyone would get quiet, and she's like, keep talking. This is what I'm here for. I don't need you guys to be quiet over here. So many laughter-filled moments, so many meaningful, authentic connections. And, it was just really nice because hosting this virtually means that you can join from anywhere in the world. And we really do have members joining from all over the world. So it's been really interesting to see how their craft sort of evolves, whether you are in Europe, if it's different from London, it's different in Rome, whether you're like in Bollywood, it's so different over there from how we see our craft. So it's really fun to get all these different perspectives and just a shared understanding of screen artistry. It's been really magical every time we've done it. But a hot tub and a glass of wine at the end of it is just doctor's prescription. Put it in your calendar. You're going to need it in the best way possible.
I love it. So I'm going to say again, Saturday, 10 to 11:30 a.m. Eastern time is Elevate Your Hustle. 12 to 1 will be a lunch and learn with Priya. 1:30 to 3 is small group actor coaching. The lounge runs what time on that Saturday? 11 to 3:30. Is that true, Priya?
Yep, 11 to 3:30. And then we have a closeout ceremony from 3:30 to 4:30.
That's Sunday. So Sunday we do
Sunday, yes.
12 to 1:30 Uta Hagen, 2 to 3:30 Essence of the Co-Star. That's with Liza Jane, which she hasn't talked about yet. And then we do a goodbye and a wrap up 3:30 to 4:30. Liza, will you talk to us about Essence of the Co-Star?
Yeah. So co-star roles are in general some of the first things that you'll audition for. And for some, for a lot of us, that will be what you audition for your entire career. And what's hilarious is that it is a completely different process of prep than what you learn in a normal acting program. And while yes, you want to be grounded and you want to be intentional and you want to be specific, there are different clues within the script that you need to analyze in order to be successful with those roles. Because in general, a co-star on a TV show is not part of the plot arc. It is part of the setup. It is part of, you are feeding information and or you are setting up a situation for the series regulars and or the guest stars to play off of to push the plot forward. And so focusing on that requires a slightly different muscle. And so Essence of the Co-Star is giving you the opportunity to while you'll go to your UTA and your Meisner and your small group actor coaching or my other class OCAT to do your scenes. This is like, what do I do? How do I show that I know what to do with one line or with, 2 lines and there's a dramatic beat in between that's not even mine, right? How do you respond to that? How do I show that I'm a good actor without just hitting my mark and saying my words? So Essence of the Co-Star is going to show you how to do that. And there are tricks. There are ways to, tricks is not the right word. We're going to forget that I said tricks because it is a craft. There is craft behind it.
Yeah, but you can have tricks in your craft. I disagree. I like the word trick.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
But yeah, it's
tricks are tools, right? Same thing, really. It's tools you can use really efficiently, and it looks like magic to other people. That's what tricks are.
Yes.
Tricks are magic. Yeah.
I like that. Yes, we are totally. I'm using that. Tricks are magic. So we're going to talk about the magic behind a co-star role and how to feel good as an artist, how to still feel like an actor with one line, how to go into it understanding what the expectation is because it is different. And yeah, things that aren't necessarily taught in any kind of acting program because in acting programs, you have a 4-page scene to really dive into. So yeah, I love teaching co-star because it's very fun to see it. Everyone from beginning actors to seasoned actors come in and they're like, I never thought of that. I'm like, I know.
Oh, it's such a good
I love it.
It's such a good class. Yeah. So, I love, thank you, Liza. I love putting people on the spot, particularly in these roundtables. So what I'm going to say is As we talk about the artistic community adapting to these new normals of the screen industry, we're talking about Elevate Your Hustle, which is a class about the business of acting. We're talking about intimate small group actor coaching with Deja D and Sekou Laidlow. We're talking about an acting, like a renowned acting teacher, Uta Hagen, that we're offering. We have all of this is offered virtually, and then we're coming back to in person. So now we're duplicating classes where we're offering virtual, we're offering in person. And on top of all that, Arvald Warner Studio has created a membership. So adapting to this new normal as a pandemic hit, I would say, is what has been happening all along here. And we're continuing to learn just like you're continuing to learn. But I would love for Erica with her dream of this membership and these classes, and Richard, you know, with Erica bringing in this just large group of teachers who have a lot of ideas, as you all know, as do you all. And we get in the room together all the time and we're talking about what we can do, what do we need to offer, what do people want, what are the new normals, even to inside the membership, having like COVID-19 protocol page and resources pages and places where we can ask questions about what is normal, what can we expect. I would love to hear you two talk about navigating these changes that we've been seeing and how it is wrapped up in these classes and our membership.
Oh man. All right, I'll start. Richard, when I start going downhill fast, will you just like interrupt me, please? Okay. That's the way it all works. The best way I personally know how to adapt to forced change or challenges is to do it with a community. To do it because together we might have different perspectives. We might have more energy and be able to lift each other up in some way or rely on someone, to have somewhere we can ask what we feel might be a silly question, or just having a day where I can't flip and write a sentence and I have to get something on paper by X time. And community for me is that fuel. And that is why the membership started and why in the very first place it exists. And the teachers and the members, we are all collaborators. We are all screen artists with many different multi-hyphenate titles. And I think that's really what has come out of this part of the pandemic, is the importance of that, and the fact that we can all continue to pivot and shift together into what the next chapter of the pandemic is or might be. And so even, yes, on that one channel, because it's almost like it's not the bad part of Facebook, it's the good part of Facebook in this feed, and it's very curated and intentional. So we don't waste people's time, and it's a very positive, affirming, safe place, frankly, online. But the information of, I saw this article in Variety, or here's what, there's a topic called This Sparks Joy, and maybe, I'm a huge Rothko fan, maybe I'll share a Rothko painting, but members share it too. And it's about keeping your inner artistry alive, as well as the classes which help refine and continue the practice of craft. Since we're all practicing artists, we have to continue to practice. But the idea that there's a community that has your back, but also is so attentive to the times we are all outside of the gig. I think that's what we continue to do. It's not about booking the job at the end of the day. It's about sustaining one's love for one's craft, and being able to be bold enough to say, I'm taking a break. And you're still, it doesn't mean you're not an artist anymore if you're taking a break, right? You're like, there are all sorts of I guess practices or tools or tricks or whatnot. Now it's your turn, Richard. You can see, there I go.
And Erica and I think, Erica, we've been at this about 15 years. And when we started it, one of the dreams that Erica presented to me was that this thing we're talking about now, which is really simply this, is that we both knew that it was just important to know that you were artistic outside the gig than when you were in the gig. We even went so far to say that it's probably more important to know that your artistic integrity outside the gig than inside, because your task and your artistry are defined within the gig. Outside, it's a task that struggles with this, is that, but being the community beasts that we are, we spend a great deal of time in isolation. So that this was a way of really taking Erica's dream and fulfilling it, the membership. I want to double back a little bit, and I know all of you are, some of you are in the membership now, and some of you are thinking about it, but I'll ask you, and I urge you to do a bit of your homework, because I know you do this well. There is always this, which is, why should I spend some time with these teachers? Well, let me tell you why you should spend some time with these teachers. You can look this up on their bios too. First of all, each one of these teachers is in what I call the avant-garde. And that is, if you think about the avant-garde, you think, and that if you look at the history of it, those are the people that are the boldest, most innovative, most experimental. And I say that with a great deal of honesty to you. Check out their what they've done. We did this together. We decided that we needed to have some sense of a unity, a sense of connection together. So we had a rather rigorous, very complete teacher training program. Not that we were going to come at you with a single terminology or a single methodology, but that we were all united in the effort to really do this, which is see if we could find a comprehensive program. And I think you can see, if you look at the backgrounds of each one of these, they are truly in the avant-garde. They are truly the experimenters. Here's what I know about actors. See if this is true in your experience. The two things that I know are essential about actors are these two things. One, that the actors that work stay on top of the game. They stay current. And the actors that I know, and they couple that with this idea that they are really a bit of, have the ability to adjust, to absorb and adjust. Now, how do you do that? Well, you know how to absorb and adjust when you know your craft, when you're confident in your craft, when you take and know that you always have to keep up your craft, that you're not simply done with your training, that it's a constant revaluation of who you are. And you stay current by making sure you're getting all the current information that's happening. You heard what Liza Jane said, it's happening, especially in this new normal, constantly changing. That's been happening for 50 years that I've been in the trade, constantly. You got to stay on top of that, right? That's how you do this. You at least stay where the new normal is. Well, how do you go into the avant-garde? You yourself become somebody that's innovative, somebody that knows the rules that then can become this. And that's the definition, frankly, gang, of a star. Who are the stars? Those people that know what's going on, that know the trends, and yet can become so personal in them because of who they are in their training, in their craft. They in fact start to become the stories that we're watching. And I am really proud to say that I'm part of this group that really offer you that. I can say that with a great deal of sincerity of 50 years of training. That if I was going to do a faculty and I was going to invent a faculty, these were the people that I would work with. These are the people that I would share ideas with to push people toward the avant-garde in your own lives. That's who I think what a membership can do for you. Keep you current, right? Keep you till you can adjust and keep you on top of your game.
Ooh, I can cry.
And I think that's the
We
exciting.
love you, teachers. We love you, teachers.
We love you.
Oh gosh.
You never know who you're in the room with, you know? You're sitting with someone, it's just a casual conversation, and then, you know, I just, yeah, getting to know these teachers and watching them work and learning from them, have deep admiration for each other. And I think that comes across in our relationships and hopefully at these roundtables. But tons of love and respect for each other. Thanks, Richard and Erica.
Yeah, and I
Corbin.
think the other thing that is I love is our teaching artists are consulting with each other a lot and taking one another's classes a lot. And I think that right there is, I mean, I'm always bowled over, honestly, you know, like anyway, I just can't say enough about that. And, you know, and and the qualifications just alone, plus the teacher training program that Richard put together that is so phenomenal. So everyone uses the same language, essentially. Not having to stick to it to a T, but understands the general same concepts, all based in the 10-step prep, which you probably all know about, but it's a cohesive, it's the glue that holds all the teachers with all their different personalities and different expertises together. Anyway, Richard's going to talk. I can tell. I see you.
No, you're right on it, Eric. You're right on it. I was just thinking about when I think about how Deja teaches, and Sekou, and you got to get them together. And they talk about it being internal and all that. But Deja has this wonderful thing that I was just so talking about magic, you know. She uses music to find her way to a self-tape. Now that might really be something you could drop into big time. And please listen to what Liza Jane is saying about the idea of what the mentality of a co-star is. So you can have craft out the wazoo, but if you can't do that craft in that small space, then you're not really adjusting into the trends. And I love the idea of tricks. We all have tricks. There's nothing wrong with tricks. Tricks are, I think tricks are my personal tools, right? Right. Bottom line, Strasberg was teaching tricks with sensory work. Okay. The deepest of methodologies that we maybe have in the canon, if you want to call it the method, was about personal tricks. If you want to call tricks, are those things that I can do that are original, that are creative, that are consistent, that I know I can call on, that makes me do my authentic self well. Definition of an actor.
Deja,
So
your are in agreement. I'm in agreement.
You're not pulling a rabbit out of a hat with an actor trick. Actor trick is a studied methodology that comes from inspiration that you can sustain.
And that's why we train, right? That's why we take classes. That's why no matter your level, you always want to be in the room working and training and keeping yourself fresh. I would be in a graduate program for the rest of my life, just in school if I could. I love being in the classroom so much. And I think all of us teachers do. That's why we love what we teach so much. We just love to be in the classroom. Corbin, Leah, I would love to introduce you, one of our other ambassadors. Are you still here? Will you raise your hand, wave something?
Hello, I'm here.
Hi.
Hi.
I would love for you and Corbin to, as we're talking about the membership and community and classes, and will you all tell us a little bit about what you do as ambassadors and what your experience of the membership is? I mean, you're ambassadors because you are a huge part of our community, and we reached out to you and said, we would love to have you as part of our team. Will you be an ambassador for this membership? So I would love to hear you all talk a little bit if you want.
I feel like my favorite part of being an ambassador is that me and Corbin and Joe, you know, when you're like touring a college and you meet that person that's very eager to show you around and show you all of the cool things about the campus that you're going to move into. That's what we do with the online membership. And we'll tell you, this is how I like to navigate the platform. These are my favorite areas of the membership. Here's just someone that you can talk to if you ever have a question. I've met so many amazing people through the membership, and the community has been so huge for me. I feel like I say this on every roundtable, so forgive me if you've heard me say this, but I didn't know how big the community factor was until I found it. So it keeps my light going when I feel like it's about to burn out. So Corbin, how about you? You're new to the ambassador team. What are you loving so far?
I am. So I think what I'm loving so far, like one, to go with like the college tour guide analogy that you're putting down. You know, every college tour guide starts out as a college student. So they've gotten a chance to experience things from the membership. they've gotten to say like, ooh, I enjoy going to jams, or I enjoy the office hours, or, this or that. And, I like the vault recordings. And they get to, or what we get to do as ambassadors is we get to share, not just, hey, these are the offerings, but these are what these offerings have meant to me. I know in particular, right, we used to call it office hours. Now it's work in progress, but essentially it's a virtual study hall, where you get to meet up with other people, usually from either all over the country or all over the world. And you just get to sit down and do some of your own personal work for an hour and a half, 2 hours. And that's honestly been one of the biggest ways that I've gotten to know people, through the membership, is just having the opportunity to work alongside them in a virtual space.
I love that accountability, right, Corbin?
Yeah,
Holding yourselves accountable
absolutely.
to getting it done.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the thing that I love about the membership is that you can do as much or as little as fits into your schedule.
Yes.
And there are plenty of live events that happen in real time that you can have interactive experience, on Zoom. And then there is canned content that if you want to watch something that's pre-recorded, you can spend all night long. You could probably spend 7 all-nighters watching how much canned content there is and maybe still not get through it all. And then exactly, there's accountability. There are so many things. I mean, we set out to build like a little cabin, a little hut for, these wonderful screen artists that we call family and want to hang together and keep our artistry alive. And we ended up building like a 200-room palace by accident because there were too many ideas with too many people. But it's great because you can explore the palace in any way that you want to, and then there are ambassadors to help you explore, if it's hard, if you're not sure where to go first. And the classes are separate. Like the membership is one thing, classes are totally separate from membership, and you can get discounts if you're a member, but our classes are most of them are always open to the public.
Except for these summit offerings, which are, right, mini classes of the fall. Yeah, thank you.
One of the things that I think is really here to stay, really truly here to stay, isn't it true, gang, for the new normal, is how much we're going to be doing digitally or virtually for the rest of our lives. This starts with not only self-taping, but this. If you're as old as I am, you learned in a room, and I still think that learning in the room is an event that hopefully we can hold on to. And while I'm at it, she hasn't said anything, but Ellie and Evan teach a Meisner class, and that's coming up in the fall too, right? Isn't that coming up in the fall? We have to mention that because we have somebody who's an expert in Uta Hagen's work, and we have two just really amazing Meisner teachers. And if you've done your homework, you realize those are two valuable baseline primary theoretical examples of stuff that goes right into film. They're so much evidence to suggest that Meisner might be the real training program that really effectively works well in film. Enough said. But one of the new normals is that I wonder how do you take to learning virtually, each one of you? It took me a while to figure it out. But here's something I noticed and discovered when I was a professor, and colleagues did this. There would be some of my colleagues that would be teaching 200, 300,000 people, and they have some screens up so that they have big screens beside them for people that could see in the back. And that one professor colleague of mine said that people tended to watch the screen and not him live right in front. They wanted to watch him on the screen. Well, that suggests that as our brains are changing, I think. We're receiving information virtually and understanding how to absorb that and how to learn from it. I know that's true about the younger generation. It's taking me a while to do it. So membership is also a good way of understanding how to absorb information, because you might be getting a gig from a director who's watching you virtually and is talking to you virtually. And the first time you meet him is on the set, right? So there's a sense that skill is part of the new normal, in my estimation.
Richard, that is so great because what you brought up something about being in the room, and there is this. I mean, I know coming up, and for a lot of us, it was you had to win the room, right? You got to win the room. It wasn't about winning the job; it was about winning the room. And with self tapes, and especially with the pandemic, when everyone went virtual, there was no room, right? There was like, well, I'm not in the room. How do I do this? So the idea that one of the things that we have to adapt to is how do you still win the room when they're in a different room, right? How do you win the room when this is your box and that's it? That's all you've got. And it is possible. And it is, again, it is a muscle that we are developing. And the more that we practice it, the more that we see it, the more that we experience it, both watching people, yeah, exactly. We're in the room where it happens, right? Except the room where it happens might be your, the corner of your bedroom, whereas the one place where you have a blank wall that you can tape your stuff. I did a Zoom callback a few days ago and they were running an hour behind. And so there I am sitting at home where I should be super comfortable, right? I should be super comfortable, but I'm sitting in my chair being like, I have to be ready the second that they turn on their screens, I'm going to be perfect, right? Because, and that is, there was stress sitting in the waiting room with 10 other actors that looked exactly like you, right? That you wonder, like, are they 10 pounds thinner? Can they sing 5 notes higher? Whatever the case was. And now I'm sitting staring at a white, the host will let you in soon screen. And how does that function? And these are the things that as artists, we have to not only overcome, but learn to enjoy because we are in that situation a lot more than we get to be on set, at least at most levels, at 95% of the levels of actors. And so what are some of the other things that you guys want to know about the new normal? I'm sure half of you are typing in, are we ever going to go back in the room? I'm sure half of you are typing that in right now. And the fact is that while some are going back in the room, it's cheaper to not be in the room.
It
It is
sure is.
cheaper. Hmm?
Yeah, it sure is because you ain't got to pay for gas. But also, but also, Richard brought up, how are we adapting and how is it helping you? And for those that have been in the Southeast for any amount of time, that we've been doing this for a long time. And so I decided to quit the job and jump and do this full time before it really became a thing. It was just starting self tapes. So I knew I had to get really good at self tape quickly because I wasn't going to be in the room and I was going to be on the other side of the world and didn't nobody know. We didn't tell nobody that I was actually in LA and not up the street. But I think for me, what has been so great is that I've been able to build more confidence into my work because I have more comfort in my surroundings. And listen, Richard brought up music. Yes, I bring in music into my work and I would go, and sit in the waiting room and I would pick a little corner and really try to do the work to get out of my head of thinking, I know I'm looking crazy. I know they're going to be looking at me, but I needed to work out something, the stress and all that. So I would have my music on and, try not to feel crazy in the waiting room. And now it don't matter because I just go on the other side of, the thing here and dance it out. And I can see if they on the screen. I just walk on over. Hey, how y'all doing? Yes, I'm ready. So it has allowed me to be more comfortable, which then brings in more confidence in myself. I think I've always had the confidence in the work. The work, you're growing, you're always evolving. And so this is what I know now. My issue personally has been believing Deja D is worthy of all the things that I've worked for. And so now being in a space that I know I'm comfortable with, I feel grounded in my space. Therefore, I can approach my work that way. And I got to produce a session tomorrow.
Can I make an observation? I know did you watch Eliza Jane and you watch Deja D there? You see how they use this little box? Were they really still? Were they still at all? Did they use
Never.
Did they use the whole
Impossible.
frame? They moved back and forth. Do they stay alive in the frame? It's because they are used to it. They've taught in it. They're comfortable in it. They found that inner space, which is warming that little box up. That's our room, right? I saw so many people starting their self-tape like this. Hello, my name is Richard Warner. You know, thinking that they had to go small, thinking that any movement would be exaggerated. That's comfortability, right? The experts tell us, Stasia, they tell us this. What is confidence and what is an actor's confidence? Well, it's self-initiated. This is an absolute study, scientific study, self-initiated, supported by a community, and then sustained by the individual. So it has to be self-initiated, has to be supported in some way by a community, and then it has to be sustained with that fuel. That's what the sciences tell us about confidence. So what makes an actor initiate? And that is, I think, once again, staying on top of your game and knowing your craft. Actor confidence.
So we covered
Absolutely.
a ton tonight.
Second.
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry. I just want to second what Richard just said, because, you know, it used to be when self-tape started, this is very practical, but it was just a very stillness that was needed in self-tapes. That 100% was mandatory. And now, talk about staying on top of your craft, knowing the trends, understanding from your community what the expectations are. Now it's using the frame, it's getting nice and close when there's intimacy, whatever it is, but it's being really comfortable. And if one is stick still in an audition, it's not the trend. It's not as casual. It's not documentary style. It's not connected. It's not, it feels like it's not confident. And so little things, little bitty things like that, that's what AWS, I think, really has a pulse on.
I love it. So in a nutshell, here's what we've discussed tonight. We clearly put a focus on industry, what's happening in the industry, community, and training. It's everything. So we've talked to you about our membership, $45 a month. There's a lot inside the membership. If you're going to join us for the summit next weekend, you'll do 90-minute classes in Elevate Your Hustle, Essence of the Co-Star, Uta Hagen, the 9 Questions, and small group actor coaching. You'll have a lunch with Priya. There will be a Screen Artist Lounge. If you're going to join the summit, why not be inside the membership for a month and see what's going on in there, see if it might serve you, right? $45 to join the membership, then the summit's free. Or you can pay for the summit and just join us for the weekend if that's what's right for you. But the summit, really, those 4 classes that we're offering at the summit are there to introduce you to what we're teaching coming this fall. You do not have to be a member to take our classes. You do not have to be a member to be a part of the summit, but it is free for members. So I do want to put that out there. Classes that you will not see at the summit that we do have coming up this fall: Co-Star to Guest Star, which you heard Erica and Aaron talk about early on. Tailor Your Tape with Katie Wilson. I cannot say enough about Katie Wilson and this class. Anybody who's taken her jam session on genres is blown away. It's 7 pages of curriculum in an hour. She's phenomenal. On-camera audition technique with Liza Jane. Those classes are sold out. I recommend you get on the wait list. There's 4 sections of that classes. It's sold out, but get on the wait list. Meisner 1, the foundation, which will be taught by me and Evan Bergman. Vignettes with Erica Arvald and me and Evan. And the commercial class with Aaron Dangler. There's a writing class. We don't have dates for it yet with Justin Rossbacher, but you can see all of this on our website. So consider joining us for the summit, see what we're all about, meet our teachers. If you're going to do that, join the membership, take the summit for free, see what's inside the membership, see what our community is all about. And if you're not available next weekend and you're not going to become a member, maybe go to our website and see all these classes that we offer. Send us questions. We hope that you're adapting to the new normal and keeping up with all the changes, and that you're finding your creativity and artistry inside the gig and outside of the gig. It's where we put a lot of our focus. And we just love having you all join us and having all of you in the space with us. Please send questions. Go to our website, send questions, or send questions. Follow us on Instagram at Arvold Official. You can send your questions there. Priya, anything else you want to say before we say goodbye?
Please email questions to
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I'm like, I check the messages on Instagram like once a month.
They
y'all.
have to keep me in check. I don't know.
Follow us
Okay,
on all platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, at Arvold Official. And then any questions you may have, you will get a much faster response if you email aws@arvold.com.
Awesome.
It's
Thank you.
because the direct messages are out of control.
That's accurate.
They get lost.
Yeah.
I'm like,
They
send
get
us a
lost.
message anywhere.
I mean, you're welcome to send it there. It just will take me a really long time for one of us to go through and answer any question that you have there.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Erica, enjoy the Emmys. Richard, so eloquent. Always love hearing you talk. Deja, Liza, Corbin, Leah, Priya, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully we'll see you next weekend at the summit, inside the membership, at classes, something, or our next roundtable. Have a great week.
I know. I love seeing everyone. All I do is keep looking at everyone's faces. So,
No,
yeah.
scrolling all the faces.
Goodbye, Iris. I see you. I see you waving, Iris, and Mary Agnes. Yes. always
My
wonderful.
Erica, my dad is here. He's down there in the corner throwing a peace sign. That's my dad.
Dad?
Where?
That's my dad.
Oh.
Here's my dad. There's my
Does everybody have a parent somewhere in their room?
I know. All of our parents are here today.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
We'll
everyone.
see you soon.
dad.
Robert Ray, good to see you,
Bye,
Robert.
everybody.
Bye.